everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So today's video is actually good news. I know that's rare here, but it tends to happen. And this is quite recent. This is as of the 24th of March, 2020. I woke up to find out that Jodi Arias' appeal has been rejected. If you clicked on this video, I'm going to assume that you have some knowledge of Jodi Arias and why she's behind bars. I am actually going to be releasing a comprehensive video about her case, so stay tuned for that. But the gist of it is she killed a guy for refusing to commit to her. End of story. She was convicted of first-degree murder in 2013, May 2013, and she has been in prison since then. Now, of course, being Jodi Arias, she tried to appeal the sentence. And an entire video of the appeal was released on YouTube when it happened back in October of last year. And I actually watched the entire video, all 57 minutes of it. It comprised of Jodi's defense lawyer submitting reasons as to why Jodi should be granted an appeal. And the other half was the prosecution submitting why her sentence was appropriate and that no grounds of appeal existed. I'm going to condense the 57 minutes to the following. Her side argued that the original prosecutor who got her convicted, Juan Martinez, was basically inappropriate and bullied her and courted the media and flirted with the jury and flirted with members of the public, etc., 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 and that she should never have been convicted, which is of course absolute bullshit if you know anything about that case. And I sat there shaking my head and feeling so sorry for the defense lawyer who had to even make those submissions. And then of course the prosecution did a very good job, in my opinion, of not really focusing on denying any of the allegations being made against Juan Martinez. Instead, he steered the appeal judges back to the crux of the issue. Regardless of how Mr. Martinez's behavior is interpreted, at the end of the day, the allegations brought before the court and the jury back in 2013 were proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Jodi killed Travis, and in a very heinous manner. And the fact that she interpreted Mr. Martinez's behavior as bullying or too aggressive and flirtatious with members of the jury, that has nothing to do with the fact that 5 years before this trial even started, she brutally butchered Travis Alexander for no reason other than the fact that he didn't want to commit to her. So just for the sake of making this video official and making the news more credible, I did find an article from the New York Daily News that I will read out to you right now. It's quite brief, and it also mentions the appeal court's reasoning behind denying the appeal. Jodi Arias, the woman who was found guilty in 2013 for the murder of former boyfriend Travis Alexander, had her conviction upheld by the Arizona Court of Appeals on Tuesday. The 39-year-old Arias will continue to serve out her life sentence in prison without the possibility of parole. Arias' lawyers argued that she didn't get a fair trial for the gruesome 2008 murder, in which Alexander was stabbed nearly 30 times, had his throat slit, and was shot in the head. Arias claimed that she only killed in self-defense and told the court that the prosecutor's misconduct and the judge's failure to control news coverage negatively impacted her case. Though the appeals court did condemn the prosecutor for his aggressive tone and combative bullying behavior during the trial, they eventually decided that his actions were less important than Arias' guilt. We conclude that Arias was convicted based upon the overwhelming evidence of her guilt, not as a result of prosecutorial misconduct, the ruling said. We strongly disapprove of his actions, but we are compelled to follow the well-established principle that we do not reverse convictions merely to punish a prosecutor's misdeeds. I expected this to happen as soon as footage of the appeal submissions were on YouTube. As a lawyer, I listened to those submissions and there was no way the appeal was going to get granted. I mean, there's no way of finding out for sure what's going to happen when it comes to appeals. It doesn't matter how she alleges she was treated by the prosecutor. She did what she did. And in the law, that's what it comes down to. She didn't do what she did because she was bullied by the prosecutor. The prosecutor bullied her 5 years after the fact. End of story. That's it. You stay behind bars for the rest of your life. At least you have a life to live out, which is a lot more than Travis can ever say. I do have to say that I watched the entire trial on YouTube. Not while it was happening. I only came across this case in 2018. But I watched the entire thing. And if you look at Jodi's behavior before the trial, the way she talked to the media and lied over and over and over again with such confidence, and she was clearly, by all accounts, a very troublesome, argumentative, combative person herself, Juan Martinez adopted that persona to meet her on an equal footing. If you watch interviews of him, the way he conducts himself naturally, he's actually quite soft-spoken. So the fact that Jodi, of all people, found him problematic and combative doesn't mean shit. She sat there with complete arrogance as he was cross-examining her. And he said it himself in an interview that he gave. He said, "I came into this trial with a strategy. I was gonna meet her at her level, and I was going to behave in a way that wouldn't allow her to control everyone in the courtroom, because that's what she does. She manipulates, she controls." So he went in there with a game plan, and it worked. He caught her off guard multiple times, and he shut her down, which is exactly what someone like Jodi Arias deserves. So good news. Honestly, good news. I am someone who takes serious issue with women who are let off lightly, or women who aren't punished as harshly as their male counterparts would have been. So I was a little bit apprehensive, maybe 5%, that the appeal could go through. But thankfully, common sense and justice prevailed. That woman is going to be locked up for the rest of her life. And I suspect for the first time in her life, she couldn't manipulate her way out of a situation. If you're interested in watching the appeal process, the submissions that the lawyers made on behalf of their parties, I will link that video down in the description box below. I will also link down the article that I referenced in the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments whether you agree with the Court of Appeal or whether you think Jodi should have been given a second chance. You know exactly what I think about that, but I am interested in knowing what you think about it and why. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in a future video.